Welcome to these sci-fi guys. Let me find a better one. There's a better one. Hey, welcome to these sci-fi guys. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Robots, and of course, with the intro you guys saw, of course, it's going to be with my buddies John and Chad. Oh, hold on, I don't like that. Let me remove this and go this way. No, not that one either. Okay, there, that's better. See John's eyes. Woo! Hey. Well, John is the one that picked out our movie for us this week. And as I showed you guys earlier, let me throw this back up here. We are doing the movie Robots from the creators of Ice Age. Actually, it was a very cute movie. I had never seen it before. So it was
I'll
definitely
say
my first
cute's a
time.
very good description of it.
Well, I watched it 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. And then I went down to Florida, and then of course you could probably hear it a little bit in my nose still, and I got really sick. So I was like, okay, guys, can't pod tonight. And then when we got back, I said, honey, you might want to watch this movie. It was cute, and so we watched it again.
Well, Chad,
So
what did you
John,
think
go
about
ahead
it? I
and
know you
start.
said you had seen it before, so
I've seen it before. Here's this. I liked all the actors for what it cartoon for animation had all the star-studded actors in it. It made a great movie, especially Mel Brooks. But Mel Brooks was very toned down in this movie than what he was in Spaceballs.
Agreed.
well, I mean, for it to be a kids' movie, he probably had to. So. Just knowing everything I know about Mel Brooks so far. Well, that being said, you guys have touched on the fact that, it's kind of kids' film from Ice Age. So, of course, it has lots of humor in it and sometimes some more subtle hidden humor, but that's still hilarious none the same. So, my first question to you guys that I wanted to pose was, what are just some of your favorite jokes throughout? Because it definitely has some good ones.
I liked it when he took the Robin Williams character took the new robot home and introduced what's his name? The old Mama. Don't forget her name, but it was so humor was right. Hey, look, big bottoms right there. Just very and just kept back. It was I don't know that part was funny to me.
Yeah, I think I think you're. Are you talking about the time when when he says, "Oh, I missed the delivery," and then she's like, "Yeah, but part of the fun is making the robot,"
Yeah,
and kind of. Okay, that's what I thought, I agree with that one. I really like that. Some of the Robin Williams, some of his lines were just just fantastic and just so funny. I still had trouble figuring out who was who after watching it twice even. um I mean, even to the who was Halle Berry? Which one was Halle Berry? Was she the
yeah.
one that worked with, was she the mom, or was she the one that worked with, or was she the little girl, or was she the one that worked with what's his name, Serge,
Yeah, she was
Renegade?
the one. Yeah, she was the one that he ended up with, like dating.
Okay, at the all right, the one that had the roller, that did the
Yeah,
rollerblades and all that. Okay.
and it was neat that they was trying to find voice boxes for the other robot. But picked some voice and came up to be Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. His little, when he kept changing the voice boxes and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I honestly love the what was her name? Apple Bottom or Big
yeah.
Bottom or
Yeah.
uh, I love the stuff with her. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. They're all over there trying to do the little metal, and then all of a sudden the whole building shakes, and they're like, "We were using our arms." She's like, "Whoops."
Bless. Yeah, I definitely agree with a lot of that, especially that first opening delivery scene. I think that is just top tier comedy with no one's expense, really. Everybody gets the joke without it having to be right in your face. And of crude, and I think that's a fantastic part of it, especially considering it's a kids' film. Because even going back and watching Shrek and stuff like that at times, it's like, man, that was actually pretty crude. It gets pretty bad. So I think Robots did a very good job of that. Now, I know we're the sci-fi guys, and so we have to talk sci-fi for sure about this. And I know it's a cartoon and it's real whimsical and things like that. But what elements of sci-fi did you guys kind of notice throughout the film? I mean, of course, other than it being a society of robots, what did you guys kind of pick up on throughout?
I just thought about everything being automated and I don't know. It's just it I kind of was going to fall back on the AI made them and they're all robots, so that's the science fiction part of it. Um, I don't know. There was a lot of it actually when I was watching it. It didn't remind me of sci-fi, but it reminded me of my childhood because a lot of the toys that we used to have this the big ring thing. It's about this big. It was red, and then you had a metal thing, and you kept moving it back and forth to keep it going because it was like a perpetual motion kind of thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was used in the movie. But yeah, no, just the different, recycling. Hey, there we go. That's what I use, recycling, because that's what they wanted to do: chop everybody up and recycle them into new shiny parts.
Yeah, I besides AI, other than that, it's kind of reminds back in the 60s and 70s era toys, especially the Marvel. Well, almost like when you're going down the highway, it looks like a Marvel Madness. If you ever played that on Nintendo.
Fair enough. I mean,
well, actually, that marble scene, it did remind me of the movie Tom Cruise was in it. I think Minority Report or iRobot, one of those where they're all going down the road. All these cars are going down all at the same time and all futuristic and stuff. But the marbles just kind of reminded me of that.
That's fair. I know for me, at least, even throwing it back, I think to RoboCop and stuff. That idea of that corporate boss being all about money and shiny and new and all of those things, but in reality, you have corrupt and all of that. I know we've seen a lot of that theme play itself out in a good chunk of the sci-fi films we've watched. So I definitely noticed a lot of those elements as well. So I think it's definitely interesting that it plays on some of that while still being a kids' film. I think that's always a fun point. So
they did in Wall-E, and didn't they? I mean, I know we haven't seen it yet, but I mean, it's basically the same thing,
Pretty much. Big corporation, big corrupt. Hey, this robot's going to take over and call it a day, and you guys are just going to be stuck on the ship. Speaking of robots, do you guys ever think we're going to end up in a society, maybe not fully robotic, because I think that might be a bit of a stretch, but where robots are more prevalent in our society, just all around here more? And I know we're starting to see some of that, but do you think we ever get to a point where they're like as many as could be in this film?
I hope not. And here's why I say, we ain't got to the movies yet, but I don't want to see Terminator. I don't want to see the AI and where everybody's turn on getting stuff. No, we don't need the humans now.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see nearly as many as you see on this movie, for obvious reasons, kind of like what Chad was saying, but also just, I mean, how many humans are there in the world? I mean, something like 3 billion or 30 billion or something like that. To be equivalent to that, this movie, you're going to have like triple the amount of robots than there are human beings. And I don't think people are going to give up that much control. I really don't. People are not. I mean, yes, they're going to like their. I mean, you look at our cell phones that we have now. I mean, we can't if we leave the house without our cell phone, we turn around and go back and get it because we're lost without it. I don't know their number. I don't know how to get to their house. I don't know this or that. I mean, honestly, smartphones have made us dumber, because we can't remember the things, or if we can't take time to say, I've seen that actor. Let me think about this for a while. No, we just go, oh, IMDb. Oh, hey, they were in this and this and this and this and that, instead of. So that's why I don't think they would be as prevalent, because I just don't think the world is going to, or let me rephrase that. I don't think the human race will allow them to be that potent.
No.
I say that now, and then Terminator is coming up here in the near future. So
Yeah.
Hey, that's it. And I think I definitely agree with that. I don't think we ever get to a point where robots are just literally surrounding us all the time. I mean, I say that, but then we also surround ourselves with different forms of tech because, like, I know I'm one person, but I have the phone, I have the TV, I have the computer, I have a tablet, I have a Kindle. Like, that's multiple devices around me. So if you make all of those some form of robotic device, you can kind of get there. But at the same time, sentient robots, I don't think we want to surround ourselves with that many at all.
No.
no.
Which that idea too, was this a separate world of robots just kind of living by themselves, almost like the Truman Show, or do you guys think this just is the world they built as a part of storytelling?
Oh, damn,
I'm
more of a.
Go ahead, Chad.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking that it's kind of like a simulation. That it's somebody. It's like a game, or you guys have, if you've ever seen The Sims or something like that. It's a game, or it is a toy or something, and all of these robots, but they're miniature, or they live in the microverse. See, I can go back to the 70s and say, hey, they're all micronauts, but that's way above y'all. Y'all probably wouldn't get that. Go Google it, look it up. They're great. Um, but no, I mean, they kind of like they're micro people and all that. In Because I don't remember ever seeing like a sun or anything anywhere. Whenever I looked in the clouds and stuff, it might have been there. I just don't remember seeing it. So that's why I'm just saying it's either like a computer simulation, or if they are real, they are, kind of like little itty bitty 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 toys in a world that some kid has in his room or something.
Yeah.
What about
I
you,
kind
Chad?
of. I don't think it's a. I think it's almost simple storytelling, like what you were saying. Is more of a virtual or somebody like a imagination world that they in. Because if you look at it, Big Daddy was more all his creations were more simple minded machines, like simple minded thing, like Rube Goldberg devices that does a complex thing that does a simple task. So you see that more in imagination or somebody's kids playing around. So yeah, like big dominoes. Like I'm gonna build this big domino. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that. And two, I mean, so going down that route, it almost makes me imagine of the Lego movie a little bit, where it like pans out and it's literally just in the basement of the dad, and it's just kind of there. Um, and so I kind of can see that world and that aspect, because I mean, again, I don't think the world would ever get to this point, but this definitely seems like they kind of separated them. Now, I like the idea of the simulation, Dave. Because like maybe they're just trying to see, if we set up and we program robots, would they run society the same way we would? And if that is the case, man, they sure enough did, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. They
So,
did. Maybe that was a
well,
predecessor for Skynet.
oh, they will react the same. Let's program something different. Which, speaking of, where do you think they got their power? Like, because I know in the opening sequence of making the baby robot, like I noticed they put in batteries, but then it never really discusses that idea of like being charged up, being changed out. Do they die in the process of having to change out their stuff? Like, at, is that how they die? Is that how the robots die in this world? Like, do their batteries just finally quit being able to charge? Like what is.
Well, it depends. Do they have Duracells, or do they have something else? Or do they have
Or
chargeables and then they just plug in at night when they go to sleep. Just like we do with our cell phones, we plug our cell phone in or we put it on the little. You know, to me, honestly, I kind of think of it with my iPhone watch that I've got the little circle thing that I just put it on top of and it just charges it. I kind of think their bed or their chairs are the same way. They kind of just sit on something and it just charges them as they're going along.
Well, you gotta look at this. It's back in the Big Daddy day when it was coming back, and the main character was repairing robots because hey, there's no sense of buying new products if I can repair. So think about it. I don't think they will go back. They didn't want to let no robots go back. So yeah, maybe charging. Maybe you just didn't see them replace the batteries, or they go sit down in a chair because you saw them asleep in the house. So there was more of then there was no wires there to charge. So I think there's more of a big battery replace that will go bad at times. So they got to just go get replaced. But other than that, I don't think I think that this is that way. Like somewhere to recharge somewhere. You just didn't see it.
I think that's fair. I definitely don't think they use the charging aspect of telling this particular story, but I think I agree with you guys. It's probably, you know, if we're in a robotic world that it's all robots and they can just lay down, maybe their bed's just a wireless charger. I think that could be a pretty fun idea. All right. So, final question. We're in this world of robots.
That's what I'm going with.
We're setting up this whole big storyline, and like typically a robot is programmed. However, thinking about that, where do you guys think these robots get their morality, like their sense of right and wrong? Do you think it was a pre-programmed aspect, maybe that simulation we talked about, Dave, or do they get it from somewhere else? Is it just them following after humans? What do you think?
I think it's a free
I think they're
program.
just following after humans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Chad. You go on with
I
it.
think it's a
And then I'll
pre-program. Pre-programmed, but yeah, I think
I'm
you got programmed by humans anyway. So humans try to say, I'm gonna put some of myself in them and give them some kind of morality. See what they do. So yeah, I think it's more programmed, but I think over time they're seeing, oh, their human counterparts or the human person that's watching them, they got this mimic him. So I don't know. I think it's more like I said, free program is they was programmed in. So either you had to learn picking up the morality or you have it. I mean, I think you had to feel a need, do a good deed. You had the ones that was great. You had the morality to help others. You had the ones that had greed. So you had all the morality in there. So you had the good and the bad.
I think it's going to really depend on what scenario we're talking about. If it's a simulation, it's going to be completely AI. The AI has learned from watching humans how to do this. And then that's what they're putting, as Chad said, they're programming these robots in the simulation to do this. However, if it is a no kidding world, I think they just kind of are born with it and they learn it as they're going along, and then they're using that into the next upgrade, into the next upgrade, into the next upgrade. They're just using that information. It is kind of a both. I think it's going to be both, really, because it's got to be programmed, because even the baby, it came in a box and they had to put it together. So they didn't do anything for the brain. So like in Chad's case, he's right, it had to have come programmed, and then eventually, because of what his surroundings and how he is raised. I mean, he was raised by a dishwasher, so that kind of taught his morality there. If he was raised by the Wicked Witch of the West, or whatever her name was, the evil junkyard dog, Mr. or Mrs.,
Yeah.
that obviously her son was raised differently. So I think that's where they're getting their morality from. Really, is from their parents.
Yeah, completely fair. Well, guys, I mean, that pretty well wraps up the questions I had. I think overall, just kind of wanted to hit that animated side of sci-fi, which really, truthfully, looking at a lot of things, there's not necessarily a whole lot of it out there because a lot of it ends up on the animated side, either being just more fantasy, more different, or
Or
really just a lot of
strictly for
completely
kids.
other things. Yeah. And so I think this one at least touched some heavier topics while still being in a sci-fi setting. So I just thought it'd be a fun kind of whimsical film to throw us into this part of the year. So any last thoughts from you guys?
Chad,
I'm good.
you're good. Well, I really think I really like this movie. I hadn't seen it before, so I think that's one of the nice things about these uh, this group of guys because we are different in ages. We're at different areas of our life. I'm bringing stuff from the 70s and 80s, and Chad's bringing a little bit more of the 90s and early 2000s, and John is, you know, 2010s, 2020s, and so, we've got a little bit of good diversity here. And speaking of diversity, we want to hear from you. Right there at the bottom of the screen, you guys can see, you can email us, TheseSciFiGuys@gmail.com. You can get on Twitter, or otherwise known as X, at These Sci-Fi Guys. Or really the easiest thing you guys can do is when you watch this video, you just go right down there at the bottom and you comment. And then whenever you comment, it'll send us an email and saying, hey guys, I really like what you're doing, or no, I don't like it, or hey, the gray beard just kind of fades in with your background or whatever, and I'll be like, too bad. So, we're doing this for fun. It's not like we're putting advertisements in here or anything. We just have a good time with this. We're all good friends. We've known each other for a few years, and we just really enjoy doing this stuff. So next up, Chad picks the next movie, and it's going to be, no, it's not going to be robots. Our next movie, War Games. Actually, that's an 80s movie. So Chad picked an 80s movie, one of my generation.
Well, hold on.
Came out in the first place. So
Yeah.
Definitely a good movie. Would you like to play a game? So yeah, that's definitely going to look at another form of artificial intelligence. It kind of seems like we're getting a lot of that in our science fiction genre. And actually, the one after that is a B movie. I've picked another B movie that you guys are going to just absolutely either hate or love. So gotta bring them. Hey, y'all did like Buckaroo Banzai. You said
That
it
is
was
true.
a whimsical
true.
movie, even though it was a total B movie. So
I'll give it that.
hoping that this next one is really definitely science fiction. There's no way if ands or buts about it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But we appreciate you guys watching us. This is a little bit of a shorter episode. I really thought this was going to be much longer because when John sent all the questions, I was like, oh man, he really wants to make a long episode. But
there's simple questions. We made it.
Yeah, it was very simple questions. But we'll definitely keep these movies going. And another thing, in the comments, you can go ahead and if there's a movie you guys want to see, put it in the comments, and then we'll go ahead and probably go ahead and watch it. And then we'll say, hey, this person wanted us to see this movie, so now we're going to talk about it. With that, see you guys later. Peace out.
Peace.